I think we're live.
It says live,
It says live.
so we're live.
All right. Well, let me make sure we are live on the YouTube channel. It looks like we are. I wanted to. Yeah, we are. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm so excited. We are actually live on the channel, and I am just going to head over to a couple of things here because I can do some really cool like graphics on the bottom. Let me just test that out here. I think I can do. Okay, well, for anyone that is joining us, hello, welcome to the What the Nell podcast, the first ever live episode. And we're doing an EcoPreneur's Edge live today with my co-host, Mikee Bentz.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here now. My heart is racing because we're live and we haven't done this before, but it was time.
Oh yeah, it was time. And we all know I love a live broadcast, so my heart is not racing quite as much, maybe. There's a really distinct difference between live and edited episodes. So I understand. I was very, very, very nervous the first time I ever went live with anything. And now it's just become part of my being, I guess. But the goal here is to, I think it's also recording. I'm pretty sure we'll find out. So the goal is to host this live episode, but also upload it to all of the platforms after we wrap up. So this episode will be available if you're not able to stay for the entire episode. You can catch it later on all of your favorite platforms. I hope. Don't quote me.
You know what, Nell? I tell people all the time, but I just want to make sure that I have it right. Which platforms can we find the podcast on?
So we can find right now, currently as live, we are on the What the Nell YouTube channel. But once we wrap up and we post to all the platforms, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, you can find us on Spotify, Deezer, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, all of the listening platforms that you can think of. And you can also find us obviously on YouTube for the video version. So, oh, and of course, YouTube Music as well, if you still want to listen to audio on YouTube. So we're everywhere, Mikey.
That's awesome. I just feel like sometimes I need a refresher. So if I need a refresher, other people probably need a
Oh, for
refresher
sure.
too.
For sure. And since we're speaking of refreshers, if you are watching here on the live stream, while you're here, just give us a quick subscribe. And we would absolutely love that. And if you do tend to listen on your favorite audio platforms, thank you so much. But leaving us a review definitely helps us grow. So we appreciate that as well. So, Mikey, let me see if I can get to where I cannot see. Where we might have some people listening. I might have to go over to the actual YouTube. Two people are watching now. So, hello, welcome. I might be one of them. Oh, that's Kelly. Look, Kelly Johnson. Hey, Kelly.
Oh, Q&A, Kelly.
Yeah, Q&A Kelly. Kelly Johnson was our guest for the Q&A episode of the EcoPreneur's Edge. And she asked us some really great questions. So if you haven't checked out that episode, please do. It was a really good one. And she's also an amazing local photographer. So if you're in the South Central Pennsylvania area, you should reach out to Kelly Johnson Photography.
Well, and Nell, I think you're doing a great job introducing some of our viewers and guests, but who are you?
Ah, Mikey, funny you should ask. So, welcome. My name is Nell, Nell Tice to be exact, and I am one half co-owner of Enticing Media, which is my husband and I own. We are a media production business. We produce video, podcasts. We also do content repurposing. But we also are YouTubers. We are in the YouTube space. We manage YouTube channels as well. But in our YouTube space, we are travel vloggers. Our channel is Kenny and Nell on YouTube, and we are just shy of 20,000 subscribers. So while you're there, if you want to take a look, subscribe there as well. We also have a live radio show on Radio Trap Rock called Livin' Like Kenny. Wednesday nights, 7:30 Eastern. It is a 3-hour-ish show, and that's so much fun. There's also a live chat there as well where you can engage with us and everyone listening. Um, and then I'm also a podcast host and author. And am I forgetting anything?
I mean, a million things, I'm sure.
I tend to really stumble over words when I do my own bio because I don't know. I interview people. I don't really talk about myself a ton on even my own podcast, but that'll change a little bit soon. I'm gonna do a solo episode probably next week. But Mikey, who are you?
Great question. For those, and this is one of my favorite, for those I haven't friended yet, I am Mikey with two E's. The two E's in my name stand for the environment and everyone, the two things that I care about most. I am a sustainable business owner in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I used to have two sustainable businesses, but to make sure that and I'm going to be a little vulnerable here, to make sure that my main business, my first love and career could stay sustainable, I had to end operations at my second business. So I feel even more like an expert now because I have been on this mission, in my career for 15 years now. And I have started, I have grown, I have, scaled a little bit, I branched out, and I've failed. And I've grown from that. So I feel like I've almost come full circle in what do I want to focus on? And that is exactly what we talk about here in the EcoPreneur's Edge, sustainability for the environment and sustainability in our business.
Yeah. Oh, that's so well said, Mikey. Sustainability is a multifaceted definition, and ultimately we have to be sustainable to do everything we want to do in life. And yeah, I mean, environment, business, all of the above. I think that you mentioned failure. Failure is something that is such a key part of sustainability. And I believe you have to have, and some people don't use the word failure, but I believe that you have to have failures in order to be sustainable in anything that you're doing. Would you agree?
I would agree, and I love growing through adversity.
Hmm.
So I love using the word failure. For me, I understand people are very different, and we can reframe that however we need to keep going. But I've been on a mission to reclaim my slurs. So fear of failure is a huge thing for me. So if I can be a failure and still feel comfortable in my skin, then I'm going to do that and I'm going to push forward.
I love that. I love that. But here's a question. How do you, the fear of failure, what do you think the actual fear is? Is it of the failure or the perception of yourself after the failure?
I think it depends on which stage of life we're at because fear
Ooh.
of failure has meant different things depending on like different ages that I've
Mhm.
been. When I was younger, fear of failure was a societal perception, like peer pressure. I didn't
Mhm.
want to get an answer wrong in school if I
Mhm.
raised my hand because I don't know if you were, in middle school in the 90s, but
I
people
was.
people knew just enough to to bully anyone for anything, but they didn't know enough not to bully. So in the 80s, people weren't aware of, obviously a whole bunch of the LGBT issues and stuff like that. And then in the 2000s, it was just a trend. Like everyone decided that they were going to hop on. But in the 90s, that was the worst time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, this is so interesting. And
So
it's,
I tell
yeah.
everyone I've been through middle school in the 90s. Nothing can be worse than that.
On a very different level, yeah, middle school in the 90s it was tough for me because and I haven't really talked a ton about this, but I had scoliosis growing up to the point where I wore a back brace every day from the age of 6 to 14. I mean, formative years, right? And of course, that included middle school. So the bullying and the name calling and the I don't want to be friends with back brace girl. I mean, it was awful. And I do think back to that time and I think, oh my goodness, if we had social media back then, I could not imagine how I would have felt because I remember feeling how I did when I would hear things like that. Like, how do you think social media would have shaped that experience for you in the 90s?
Well, I want to go back to failure, and then I'm
Mhm.
going to get to their social
Yeah.
media, the 90s, and social media in the present. So, fear of failure was a lot of peer pressure
Hmm.
back in the day. And now, fear of failure is losing my house, losing my
Hmm.
vehicle, losing my retirement account, losing, the network of amazing individuals that I've been able to cultivate over the years.
Hmm.
So, knowing that the failure, you know, or whatever term we're using for that adversity,
Hmm.
changes during my life means that I've had to like adopt different coping mechanisms. However, the number one and this is like sustainability for life or our lifestyle, the number one like tool that I have is
Hmm.
just showing up,
Right.
whether that's posting every day on social media, whether that's going to work and sitting in your car for 15 minutes before you can muster the courage to walk in,
Right.
whether that's making breakfast for the kids 30
Hmm.
minutes early so that you have quiet time before they wake up. Showing up is literally half the battle.
Yeah.
Once I'm there, then I can fail forward
Hmm.
in whatever I'm doing
Yeah.
and create that sustainable business or sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah, it is. The phase of life is for sure a real thing. And, it's interesting. Was talking to somebody the other day about um, almost like a phase of life type perception difference between, a similar topic. And it becomes such a, oh gosh, I don't even know how to say this, but experience, wisdom, call it what you will. As millennials, I think we've endured so much that there's a level of numbness. Does that make sense?
I call it resilience.
Yeah, I mean it has to be called resilience because we're still here. We're still trudging
I
or
I'm
or
not
thriving.
I'm not necessarily numb to what's going on. I'm informed,
Hmm.
whether that's geopolitical, socioeconomic events,
Hmm.
global affairs, local. We're having quite a deal with
Hmm.
the election here in Harrisburg.
Hmm.
So I'm very informed, but
Hmm.
I have grown a thick skin, and
Yes.
I know that I can only control the sphere of influence that I can control, and most of the things in the world fall outside of that. So
Hmm.
while I can be informed, I just put on my armor and trudge through the day.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. I do want to say a hello to my husband Kenny, is watching from the Kenny and Nell YouTube channel.
I love it.
So yes, thank you for joining us, you guys. Listen, if anybody has any questions, please pop them in to the comments. We're over here just talking about right now we're talking about sustainability and failure and current events and social media and the 90s. So whatever questions you have, whether they be about the topic or not, please pop them into the comments. But yeah, Mikey, I didn't honestly even have a real topic solidified for this episode because, I wanted to let the comments dictate that. But I think where we're going with this is actually really cool because we've never really talked about sustainability in failure and how that attributes to success in our lives.
And it's just something that I feel like I've been called to talk
Mhm.
about more as things. I really have felt a shift starting over the last 3 years until now, and I opened Facebook this morning while I was doing my little get ready with me Instagram story to share with all my followers there. Um, I opened up Facebook and a fellow salon owner was lamenting in a salon group about how uh, things have changed. Retail isn't doing what it's doing. The vibe in their salon is amazing. They've been together with people for, 10 plus years in that
Mhm.
same salon. But the atmosphere is different. They didn't order holiday items the way that they used to
Oh,
because things have changed. And I
sure.
feel that too.
Mhm.
And I think that number one, I'm always a fan of change. It's the only constant in life.
Mm.
Um, but I have felt this change, even to the point where my second business, my dance studio, was not bringing me the joy or profitability that it
Mhm.
once was. And I had to do that thing we did in 2020, and that was pivot
Mhm.
because I I know what has worked. I know
Mhm.
what's working, and I have a really good intuition of what's going to work in the future. And
Yeah.
number one, spreading myself too thin, which I was doing, and
Mhm.
splitting my focus, which I was doing, is not the key to my sustainability long term.
Yeah, that's really great that you recognize that. Do you recall a moment or any type of event or where you realized that was the shift that you needed to make?
Um, I I love taking obscene amounts of accountability.
Mm.
And in the grand scheme of things, in late 2024, um, I I'm going to take all the blame here. I went on a vacation to do a dance competition and visit my in-laws. It was in Orlando, Florida. It was
Mhm.
actually US Nationals. Um, and during that trip, my dance studio atmosphere and culture changed.
Mhm.
And I came back, and there were cliques that had formed, and there were issues that didn't quite get resolved the way that I would have handled them had I
Mhm.
been there in person. And that was kind of the moment where things changed in my heart. I was like, oh,
Mm.
this feels different. And I blame it on myself for going on vacation. Not to say that I shouldn't go on vacation. I
Right.
just should have had better standards and practices in place to
Mm.
protect my clients and culture.
Hmm.
Culminated with the ever faster rising inflation, the uncertainty during a political election,
Sure.
and my lease always renewed or changed
Mhm.
from Halloween to November 1st. So this
Ah.
all happened around the same time, and it just felt
Uh,
like I was starting to grow a boulder that I was
mhm.
pushing uphill.
Yeah. Sometimes there are those other things that are a part of the process that just kind of help to move us along. Like, you know, all happening at the same time. Kenny made a comment. He said, spreading yourself thin is a really common problem and sometimes hard for folks to avoid. And it is, and especially, I think, as business owners or entrepreneurs, we're constantly in a state of we want to keep growing, we want to keep doing, and sometimes mistakenly continuing the doing means doing too much, and that's not sustainable. Uh yeah, I mean, I I think honestly, and I don't think I see enough of your posts often enough on social media. I should probably like just take the time and go into your actual page and look, but I think one of the most brave is a word that comes to mind, but I think one of the best moves or one of the most, yeah, even bravest moves that you've made in your presence on social media is announcing that you were closing up the studio. Because there's so much, obviously, the highlight reel that social media is. There's so much content that we don't even know if it's real. There's so much going on and so much noise that your post was very honest, and it was very, this is just what's happening and this is what I'm doing. And it's so authentic that I think that is honestly one of the best things that you've done on social media.
Uh, Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that doesn't sound like a compliment, and it should be because it takes so much more as far as like real energy to put that out there than it does to highlight one of your amazing dance videos. Honestly, that's easy because you're proud of that. You're so it's something that you've accomplished and you've done and you love it so much. So it's easy to put that stuff out there. But when it comes to putting out something that maybe puts you up for judgment, accountability, those types of posts are harder, I think, to put out to the world than something that you love so much. And so I kudos to you. Like congratulations because you could have also chosen to just say nothing.
I could have. I try to live my life honestly, openly, open-minded, and transparent. And so, oh goodness, the live episode is getting to me. So, um, I would have lost sleep and I would have felt a bit hypocritical if I
Sure.
didn't do what I had coached, other people to do and what I knew was right.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Nell.
Well, that's a sign of somebody that you want to do business with. I don't want to do business with somebody that I don't think is truly holding accountability to themselves and is only willing to show certain things because that's what looks good. I want to do business with somebody like you that, has that value and says clearly, I would have felt hypocritical because I don't know that people that are being inauthentic really care about that so much.
And look, I just had a birthday not too long ago, and I'm not getting any younger, so this diva needs his beauty rest. So anything that's going to take away my sleep, we're not doing.
Oh, I love that so much. So Kelly says, I hear you, Mikey. I made the decision to close my physical studio location at the beginning of this year. It wasn't sustainable and it also felt like a huge boulder. So, yeah, I kudos to anybody that's doing this and putting that out there because when you start something and you don't necessarily feel the support from everyone that you feel should be supporting you, and rightfully so, it's hard, especially, I think, and I don't know this yet, but, and I hope, I don't want to necessarily, but I think that putting something out there like this, the people that weren't supporting you in the beginning, I feel like they would be watching and saying, ha, ha, I knew that was going to close, or, you know, wanting that. And that's the last thing that I would want to experience for myself or for anybody that is closing something up. Um, but I also know that opinions that are not mine are not my business. It's not my responsibility. It's none of my business what people think. And but it's still like that's like this is who you are. This is your bread and butter. This is your dream. Like these are all the things. So it's really, really hard to do that and put that out there. So
Yeah, I'm reminded of one of my favorite quotes my business coach gave to me, and that is, "I know what I bring to the table, and I'm not afraid to eat alone."
yeah, that's such a good quote.
And so I do. I know exactly who I am. I'm Mikey with two E's. I care about the environment and everyone. I have said that to myself, and I have said that publicly, and I have said that on this podcast so many times that no matter what anybody's opinion is, one, I can't control anybody's thoughts, feelings, or opinions, but
Right.
no matter what they are, it doesn't change my deep-rooted belief in myself.
I love that so much. You really have to know who you are to be able to be in that mindset. So often I catch myself, it kind of feels like a hamster wheel where I'm like, yeah, I know exactly who I am and what I stand for and what I want to be doing and put out into the world. And then every so often someone comes along and question maybe I'm making more of it than it really is, but I'm feeling like they're questioning who that is and they're trying to mold me into a different type mindset, or make me question like why I feel this way about myself. And it's like I had somebody actually ask me about the lighting that I have here in studio. And I said something like, "Yeah, I'm really excited about my new lighting and how maybe it was a podcast. I don't remember, but I'm really excited about it. I think it looks really good. It's purple. Purple's my favorite color." And he was like, "Oh, do you really feel good about that?" And like questioned it in a way that I was like, "Should I not? Are you trying to tell me it sucks?" Like, I don't know, but I'm staunch in my conviction that my lighting is better than it was, and I like it. So you know what? It's gonna stay.
Yeah, so wait, there were two other things off of the business coach saying. But I know who I am. Oh, and something that gives me courage and confidence now, to be open and transparent about my business closing is like I work really hard publicly.
Mhm.
That is nothing compared to what I do behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So no matter, like, I know that I put my nose to the grindstone. I know that I built a brand. I know that uh uh I have done the things. We've had multiple financial episodes about how to plan for retirement, how to
Mhm.
set goals, what should and shouldn't we be, spending our income on.
Mhm.
I have done all the things that I
Mhm.
talk about. So closing a business actually
Mhm.
made me wealthier. So
Ooh.
I am a-okay, number one, being transparent, but also number two, putting my money in a place where it's going to work for me better.
Mhm. That's
So
big. That's a big thing.
So people are like, "Oh no," and I'm like laughing my way to the bank, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
For sure. I mean, that's a big thing that people don't think about, but people don't look that far into it. They don't read that far. They don't pay attention. Everybody's got their own thing going on. They hear something and they take that as gospel. And, closing a business has a connotation. And so people hear that and they think, oh, it's closed, it's gone. That's not money coming in. So,
and number three, bouncing off that,
mhm.
because of all the hard work that I've done from age 22 when I entered beauty school until age 38, which I just turned, I I have set myself up for success and I only need time now to hit my retirement goal. I'm going to continue
Ah.
working, I'm going to continue growing. My
Mhm.
employee at the salon is doing far better than I could have even
That's amazing.
expected. We're going to grow and we're going to scale. I don't know exactly what that looks like in the future, but those are our goals. And um, I could close my other business and go work at Amazon and
Mhm.
still be just as financially set for retirement as I
Mhm.
would if I grew both of my businesses.
Yeah.
So I I am okay doing all of the sustainability of failure
Mhm.
because I have put in the work. And that I
Yeah.
think is not talked about enough
Yeah.
because we show the highlight reel or we do, like a big clickbait, I failed at business post.
Mhm. Yeah. Kelly said it's hard to publicly undecide something. In my opinion, people want to believe what they want to believe without knowing the full story. 100%. 100%. It's hard to shift opinions.
Opinions don't pay my bills.
Exactly. That's the Mikey drop moment of the episode. Opinions don't pay my bills. For sure. It's I don't even know what to follow that up with.
But for real, they don't. And this is why I'm so glad, like, man, going back to social media, I I don't now I don't blame you for not seeing my posts often because I don't really post a lot
Oh.
on a lot of social medias at this point because I do it. I have a career. I don't need money. I do it for engagement. I want the like. I want the heart. I want the double tap. I would love the comment like, "Oh wow, that's amazing." Or even the one person on Instagram was like, "Huh, I'm so sad you didn't fall,
Hmm.
off the pole." I
Yeah.
want that. I want the community. I don't want uh you know, money or fame or fortune. I'm going to make that in other avenues in my life.
Yeah.
So because I don't know why it's like pulling teeth to get people to like a post,
Mm.
but it is. Like you actually it's probably easier to pull teeth than to get people to like a post.
I agree.
But the algorithms have gone to view time and watch time. And I get a little paycheck from Facebook every month
You know,
because people watch my stuff.
yeah. So my husband Kenny also gets a paycheck from Facebook every month. And he got invited to the program. I can't get an invite. I I can't do that. I don't know why. It also is very frustrating. We're going through a situation right now with Facebook discontinuing community chats inside of groups. And our radio show, Living Like Henny, like that's a meat and potatoes piece of the show is the live engagement. So they closed that down, but not everyone has the feature or the eligibility, I guess I'll say, to get into the new chat that we created. And that's just that's creating a divide. And we want those people to be able to be in it so much and they want to be there. And it's just really frustrating because all of this, the social media that's supposed to be bringing everyone together and keeping everyone connected is doing the exact opposite.
That is interesting. But at the beginning, well, towards the beginning of the episode, I said the only constant in life is change. And
Mm-hmm.
going back to the lamenting salon owner, they are lamenting about things that used to work. And it doesn't work that way anymore. And it's only going to not work that way faster in
Mm-hmm.
between now and the next 5 years. So that's why I knew I didn't need to split my attention. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I knew I needed a new marketing strategy. And honestly, when I engage with people, I will literally pull them off social media and get them in my favorite color. I
Or
will
oh, I like that.
it's the year of the show guy, if you didn't know. I will pull them into my personal text message contact list.
Mm-hmm.
So if I need you or if you need me, there's a direct link no matter what any social
Yeah.
and everybody knows metromikeys.com.
Mm-hmm.
Like so Gary Vaynerchuk, who hopefully we're going to have on the podcast one day, said that the most important thing from 2019 to 2025 is building your brand,
Mm-hmm.
because that cannot be taken away.
Yeah. No,
And that's what I've been
absolutely.
working on.
That's good. And Kelly and I have mentioned this in our content strategy workshop. The things that cannot be taken away from you, because it is so important, especially now and social media and all the things like email lists and yes, your contact list inside of your phone for your text messages. Like these are the things that you own, and this is this really should be your focus of connectivity to the people that matter. And social media, and I will quote Kelly on this, social media should be the gravy on the potatoes. That's what it really should be.
Yes. And
And
there's so much power in personal networking still too.
yeah.
And even it's going back to that. Like more
Mm-hmm.
people are going to come to a business because of a personal referral than
Sure.
social media.
Mm-hmm.
And even now I was coaching towards Google My Business
Mm-hmm.
and Apple Business and Yelp for
Yeah.
the last year to 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
Even that is starting to fail compared to in-person friend of a friend of a friend referrals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's all very interesting, and it'll all be very interesting to see where it goes from here. The landscape is so different even from when I started this back in 20, I guess officially 2022. Uh, so yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes, and I'm also with the age is coming the more wisdom of, you know what, I'm not putting the energy into social media that I once did for our business because yeah, and I was actually just telling a client this morning. I said, you know, it's a lot easier to look within the business that you're already doing for more business rather than looking outside of that for more business because you've already built the relationships, you've already nurtured, you've done the work and likely, you know, they're growing alongside you if you're still on board together. And social media just at least for our business is like I don't want to say what's the point, but you know, that's not where we're focusing our time and energy. So,
Wise,
yeah.
in my opinion. I
Yeah.
just noticed I have access to the live stream chat.
Oh, you do?
So I was not seeing any of the chats that had come in.
See, okay, I just figured out how to pop up the messages. Kelly said, I love your purple lights. Thank you, Kelly.
I do love your purple lights.
Thank you.
And my brand color is red, and that's typically, you know, what I would love to have on. But ever since T Swift teased that album with the little orange lock on the green background, and then Apple came out with the orange iPhone, and my
It is
wedding
your
10 years
year.
ago was orange. It is mine and my husband's favorite color.
No.
I was like, oh, it's the year of the show guy. I
It
got
is the
you.
year of the show guy. I love that so much. Oh my goodness. Well, yes. I love that. You know, I should embrace orange a little bit more. It looks like terrible on my skin tone, but I like it. I would embrace it.
I mean, there's a shade of orange for everyone.
Okay. Yeah, maybe there is. I'm just not very good at styling, so maybe that's my problem. I'll do purple. I'll do purple. That's fine.
Well, purple and orange go really well together,
They actually
so.
really do. Yeah. I love that. All right. Well, Mikey, you know, this is typically about the length of an episode that we do. And thank you, especially to Kelly, Kenny. I don't know if anybody else jumped in to the live, but like I said, the intent is for this episode to go up and live on the YouTube channel and all of the audio platforms. So if you were not able to catch this live and you're listening now, that's cool. We still love you. Mikey, oh, Kenny said very frustrating. I don't know what that means, but
We'll have to ask him off the air.
off air, yeah.
Oh, wait, did we just get a hate comment?
Oh, is Kenny frustrated with us? Is that what's happening?
I still, you know, we need to get more popular so we get the hate comments coming in faster.
Yeah, these things don't grow themselves. So, you know, we got to keep at it and stay consistent. And, you know, that's the name of the game in sustainability. Stay consistent, keep at it, don't give up. You know, there's a time for everyone, even though that time may not be now. It could be, you know, tomorrow, it could be 2 years in the future, 5, 10 years,
20.
20. Yeah, we're playing the long game here, Mikey.
Ah, I love it. That's my favorite game.
And that all being said, any final thoughts to wrap up this first live episode?
No, I knew that season 3 needed a live episode. I didn't know exactly what it looked like, but honestly, you know, I think it went swimmingly. I'm so
Mhm.
excited to do it again. You know, maybe we can find better or different times where more
Yeah.
people and viewers would be interested in attending.
Mhm.
But I'm glad we got it out of the way a little early before, you know, we have Gary Vee on the podcast
Oh,
and we get
yeah.
1 million subscribers.
I mean, yes. No, I'm glad that we could work out all the kinks before we bring Gary Vee on, and the food babe. Just putting that out there.
And yeah, I know we didn't have a topic, but I still feel like you know, our conversation really is here for education
Mhm.
and to be helpful, and it always turns out even better than I could imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was, you know, the goal is to spread the authentic message of whatever it is we're talking about. And I think yeah, you know, I was expecting, I did a little test. I told you before we started to make sure everything would work properly with the live stream and everything like that. So I feel really happy and good about how that's going off. We didn't have any technical issues. Sorry that I finally just figured out how to put the messages up on the live stream. There were some options I saw last week that, to put like messages down on the screen, but I can't find those now. So I don't see the options that I had. But, these are all things that we just figure out and we learn by doing, right? So anyway, thank you to everyone, to both of you that have tuned in, and to everyone that is tuned in now, post live and or listening. We appreciate you so much. So Mikey, thank you for being here today as well. I'm excited to, after this episode is out, the next one that you hear will be our season 3 wrap up. So I can't believe it's been 3 seasons. Yeah. And then, dare I say we come back for season 4, Mikey?
I think you have to.
I think I do. I think I do.
A lot of things are changing, a lot of things are coming, and a lot of things are going away. But the EcoPreneur's Edge is, I think, here to stay.
Yay! Thank you. And Kelly said, have a great day. Kenny said, this has gone well. Glad to hear that from your side of things, you guys. So thank you for that feedback. And thank you for being here and supporting us as you always do. So thank you all so, so much. And as always, we will catch you on the next one. Bye.